Hello, everyone. It's so good to be with you again. You know, we're looking in the book of Revelation and getting to the point where we're seeing that the revelation of the Antichrist is going to come about 3.5 years into the tribulation period. The beautiful thing about the book of Revelation is that 540 years before the coming of Christ, Daniel was getting the same kind of revelations. I love that because it reveals to us that John wasn't just having a one-off revelation and visions and dreams, but actually this is backed up by the prophetic words that were coming through the Jewish prophets. Daniel had an amazing series of dreams and visions that brought to him an understanding that there would be this season of the Gentiles, where the Gentile worlds would have their day. Well, this is very important to Daniel because they were living in the time after Jerusalem had been destroyed. And it gives us an understanding that the last 2,500 years of Gentile dominion, even stronger than the nation of Israel, is all part of God's plan and that he's still in control. So let's go real quick to Daniel chapter 2. Let's look at a dream that Daniel was interpreting for King Nebuchadnezzar, a Gentile king. Probably history seems to tell us that he was the most powerful individual that ever ruled because he made up his own laws, he followed his own laws, and if he didn't like them, he could change them. But as we look at Daniel chapter 2, Daniel was a man, a Jewish man, and a prophet that was outside of Israel because Israel had been taken captive. And here he's given an opportunity to interpret a dream for Nebuchadnezzar. Daniel 2 and verse 31, "You, O king, were watching. Behold, there was a single great statue. That statue, which was large and of an extraordinary radiance, was standing in front of you, and its appearance was awesome. The head of that statue was made of fine gold, its chest and its arms of silver, its belly and its thighs of bronze, its legs of iron, and its feet partly of iron and partly of clay. You continued watching until a stone was broken off without hands, and it struck the statue on its feet. On the feet of bronze, the silver and the gold were crushed to pieces all at the same time, and they were like chaff from the summer threshing floors, and the wind carried them away so that not a trace of them was found. But the stone that struck the statue became a great mountain and filled the entire earth." So here's this dream of this colossus of a statue, starting at the head, which was very gold, then down to silver, then to iron, and to bronze, and then to iron mixed with clay. And God was revealing to Daniel that there would be 4 strong Gentile empires. He goes on to say in verse 36, Daniel interpreted, "This was the dream. Now I'll tell you its interpretation. You, O king, are the King of kings, to whom the God of heaven was given the kingdom, the power, and the strength and the honor. And wherever the sons of mankind live, or the animals of the field, or the birds of the sky, he has handed them over to you and has made you ruler over them. You are the head of gold." So among the Gentile empires, Nebuchadnezzar was the most powerful Gentile king that the world had ever seen. And so that's why he was gold. But then as you look further down the statue, it says there's another kingdom which will arise inferior to you, and that one is of silver. Then another kingdom of bronze, which will rule over the earth. Then there'll be a 4th kingdom as strong as iron. Just as iron smashes and crushes everything, so like iron that crushes, it will smash and crush all these things. And so when we're looking at this revelation that's coming right here, the head of gold was the Babylonian Empire. Then we have the 2 arms and the shoulders was the Medo-Persian, this combination of the 2, which was silver, not as glorious as gold. Then we have the bronze, and that this was actually the Greek Empire that was going to be revealed and coming in the future as Daniel received this revelation. Then there was the final part of the statue was made of iron, but also mixed with clay. And that was the feet, the lower part of the legs, the feet, the 10 toes, the 10 nations of Rome. as we're realizing that Daniel is receiving this revelation of the interpretation of the king, Daniel says to King Nebuchadnezzar, and then you saw a stone not hewn with hands. Why? Because God made this stone. And it came and it hit the bottom of the statue, and it caused all the four kingdoms to crumble and to crash to the ground. This is the end of the time of the Gentiles. And that stone that was not hewn with human hands, was hewn out by the hands of God, hit the statue, crushed it, and then it became a mountain, that stone, that filled the entire earth. This is a beautiful prophecy that Jesus is going to come at the end of the time of the victories of the Gentiles for thousands of years. Christ will come. He will hit that system and break it, the system of this world, and that his kingdom, that stone, will become this huge mountain that will fill the whole earth, and that Jesus will become the Lord and God of all the kingdoms of the nations of the earth. It's a beautiful prophecy about the end of the time of the Gentiles and Christ coming and establishing his kingdom.